We continued our class with another tool, another thought, understanding how the world we live in, Instagram, TikTok, Shorts, makes us feel very discontented unless something really great happened within like the last hour, and putting that in perspective. And then we did 2 exercises to really try to make this real. Hope you enjoy. I'm just going to add one other idea before we start getting into a few exercises on this. Someone told me this today. I was having a discussion with someone today, and I was just thinking of it right when we started the class, that we are very trained. We're trained by society, by technology. I think we're trained by, I don't even know if we watch them, but it's somehow in the air, like TikTok and Instagram and Shorts and all these things that fast, now, changing lights and colors and music. And it trains us to be very impatient, to have a very short memory of good in our life. Meaning, if yesterday something really wonderful happened to you, you saw a real growth in someone that's close to you, in a child, in your relationship with your spouse, you got a great compliment at work, unexpected money fell into your bank account, something really good happened and you were really happy and you really appreciated it and you were great and you thanked God and you felt so good. Well, today is a whole 24, 25, 27 hours later, and you just sort of feel blah. You don't feel especially happy. You don't feel especially good about your life. What happened yesterday? That was a long time ago. The way our technology-driven world has impacted us, yesterday was a long time ago. And yesterday's joy doesn't make me feel I have a good life today. But of course, in real life, movement is not always boom, 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 like the action on your phone or your computer or your television. And therefore, it's good to breathe. And when we're feeling, it's hard to have such a positive perspective. I just feel blah. I see the negatives. I don't feel good. Oh, stop and think about yesterday. Ask yourself this. Was there anything good in my life that happened yesterday? Was I happy about something yesterday? Did it make me feel good? Was it a win? Was it a success? Okay, that just was yesterday, just was. And just try to I know this sounds so basic what I'm saying, but a lot of times we lose that. And yesterday's joy doesn't mean I'm a happy person today with my life. So if you're finding yourself in that just blah space, which is an unhappy space, nothing's happening and I want isn't happening and what I'm looking for isn't happening. Remember, change can take time. Things can slowly get put into place. But think back to yesterday's wins and yesterday's positives and yesterday's joys. They're still true today. And then remember, you have such a great life. And then remember that you have a choice and you could see the half full or the half empty. But why make yourself unhappy? You might as well see the half full. And remind yourself of all the times your positivity came back to you. And keep remembering that, and then it should become more and more natural to do it. So I wanted to make this practical because, first, I'm very happy. Heidi, I'm glad you made it. You see, you wanted to enough. Hashem made something behave in your life, your computer or your phone or whatever.
I'll tell you, I was thinking the whole time what you would say if I end up not getting on. I was like, okay, I'm going to try once more on my computer. And if that doesn't work, then Hashem just did not want me to be here for whatever reason. And that would be that. But it ended up working out.
Okay, so. Exactly. So then I would say probably the very important class, and that's why it was so difficult. That's how we look at it. Why am I being blocked? Because it's really important. So I'm glad you made it. I hope this is the important part. I wanted to do a few things just to try to make this practical. What I mean by make this practical is train ourselves to reframe negative to positive. Because if you're not used to doing it, or if it's hard for you, it's hard for you. And it's so good and it makes so much sense. And the more positive you are, and the more positive your world is, and the more positive your life is, and perspective creates reality. And we all want a good reality. So we all want a good perspective. So nobody's disagreeing with anything I'm saying, but it's hard. Sometimes it's very hard. So 3 exercises. 1, it's not something we're going to do at the moment, but it's an idea. I was really trying to think, how are you going to do this? How am I going to do this? How are you going to do this? Take a small pad. One of those little memo pads or something small that you could keep with you, or a piece of paper if it was me, a piece of paper. And each time you stretch and view X positively, whatever X is, whatever that means in your world, that it's hard for you to look at positively and you don't normally look at positively, and you do, make a little check on the piece of paper, a little affirmation. I'm working at it. I'm working at it. It's good for us to acknowledge that we work in it. And every time you mess up, jot down the situation in brief. Mess up means I was not in a positive space. I was in a negative space. I looked and processed negative. I was not happy. I was not positive. I did not look at that other person with a very warm, favorable eye. I was not patient with my child. I was looking at her negatively, or my spouse, or my coworker, or my relative. Just write it down also. And at night, review the little piece of paper. Don't lose it. Some of you can put it on your phone, whatever works. And affirm all the times you were positive thinking. A big thumbs up to yourself. You did a great job. Really, really, really good work. And we deserve to just celebrate that we're stretching and working. And every time you see you jotted down that you slipped, hopefully you wrote enough detail so you'll remember it, reframe how you could be positive in that context. This is really a valuable lesson. What I'm saying now is not only true about trying to change yourself to be positive. You can use this for anything. When you're trying to work on something, it's the best way to work on it is work on how you mess up in it. Meaning you could, we could create 10 theoretical situations and we could all think of how we would be positive in those theoretical situations. Best things to think about are your own life, your own situations, what you deal with. So as you reframe how you could be positive in that context, it's changing your mind. It's like, say muscle memory. As we've said, explained so many times, your thoughts create these super highways in your brain. And of course, for many, many people, those super highways are highways of negativity, of judgment, of pessimism, of frustration and aggravation and stress and annoyance and all those horrible roads. So you can't just say, okay, well, today I'm going to be positive. We'll forget the past 45 years in my brain. It's all there. It's all in your brain. So we need to work through all the negativity. We have to stretch our mind muscles and we have to practice doing it right, often multiple times, until that becomes a natural way my brain thinks. And again, you could do this, so to speak, just as well taking theoretical stories, but it's much more relevant when you deal with the stories in your own life. And those are the stories that are probably reoccurring. So it's good to get good at seeing them in a positive light. Meaning what I'm saying here is you have your little piece of paper. I always have a piece of paper right here. I always have pen and paper always right near me. So if it was me, I had some corner of this very scribbled on piece of paper. And every time I pushed myself for the right, I did a little check. That's very good and very important for us to also acknowledge that we are doing it right. Instead of just writing all the times we messed up and then we just feel like, okay, I'm a real failure at this. Hey, no, there was 7 times I really stretched. And there were 4 times I really messed up. Hey, 7 over 4, that's a pretty good score. I recognize it's a good score. That's being positive. Look at those 4 incidents. And if one of them was whatever, your child, your husband, whatever. Whatever's the stuff in your life that you were not positive about, and you were negative, and you were critical, and you were pessimistic, and you were judgmental. And then say, okay, I'm rewriting history right now in my brain. I'm recreating that situation. My kid walks in the door, unhappy, and he says this. I have total composure. No one's around. No one's bothering me. I'm just envisioning myself doing it right, doing it positively, doing it with love, seeing, and I just recreate a new scenario. And I might want to rethink that 3 times or 4 times or 5 times. Why? Because it's likely it might happen tomorrow also. So the more times I play it out in my brain, the more naturally tomorrow I'm going to instinctively do it right. Because I practiced 5 times today. If it was a very random incident that doesn't usually happen with someone you don't usually relate to, do it once or twice and move on. If it's someone in your little orbit, your children, your coworkers, your friends, your family, your husband, practice it many, many times. Keep replaying it in your mind. If nobody's around, you could say it out loud, replaying it, replaying it, replaying it, replaying it. So when it happens again, and it probably will, it will be very natural to go into that positive mode because you practice. That's the idea. And that's why we want you to practice, not with someone else's script and someone else's scenarios, but with yours. When someone does this, I always feel very negative and I'm impatient. And why is he being so slow? And why isn't he understanding? And why didn't he take out the garbage? So fine, those are the details of your world. Those are the details you practice. You might say that sounds an awful lot of time to work on that. It really isn't. It really isn't. Or it might be, but it's worth it. So maybe some days it'll be, oh yeah, I was really good. Oh, those two things, quickly reframe them and move on. And maybe someday something could have been, oh, that was a really big loss. I really didn't handle that right. I really fell into a very negative space. I was really very, very negative. And that's an important person in my life. That's an important situation. So I want to really, really, really practice it. It's worth it. It's your life. And many of us do this naturally. You mess up and then you think, how should I have done it? Okay. And you might even role play in your mind how you're going to do it right the next time. That's in essence what we're saying here. Something else. All right. So I am now screen sharing. So what do you see in front of you? There's no wrong here, guys. What do you see in front of you? What do you see?
A face and a tree.
You see a face, you see a tree. Who more sees the face?
Well, it's funny, when I was little, I saw the face, and now I see like a woman walking in a park. So it kind of changed when it got bigger.
That's cute, right? You could see the face, you could see the tree, you could see the woman walking. They're all there. They're all there. Okay, let's get to another one.
A woman's
a woman's face and head.
You see a woman's face? What else do you see? Shift your eyes. What else do you see?
Like a mat. Oh.
A man playing a saxophone.
Yeah. And a mask.
Exactly. And they're all there. What do you see now?
A bird.
A rabbit. A rabbit.
A rabbit? You see the rabbit or you see the bird?
I see both. A duck and a rabbit.
You see both?
Yeah.
You see the rabbit? You see the duck?
Left to right, yeah.
You see it?
Yeah, I see it. I think that was the one Shira thought was the woman.
Yeah, I think so. Shira, what did you see here?
A woman, then looked like a bird or something on the back of her head.
Okay. Okay, now realign your vision. This is the most classical, famous one of all times. You start seeing the woman, and then what can you shift and see?
An old woman. So it's like a young woman or an old woman.
Right. Do you see the young woman and the old woman?
Yeah.
Can you shift your eyes and see the old and see the young and see the old and see the young?
I don't see the old. Where's the old?
You don't see the old? Shift your eyes away and then look at it at a different angle. Who here can see the old woman?
I can see it. I see both. But I've seen this before, so I don't know.
Right. This is, I think, the most classical one, but it's really powerful. If you look at it from a certain angle, you see a young woman and you see sort of the side of her face and her neck sort of turned, wearing something pretty on her head and something furry, right?
Yep.
Now shift your eyes and see like an old woman bent over, and you see sort of her nose and her chin and her mouth.
I don't see it. So it's so frustrating.
The old woman's nose is the young woman's like side of her face. That's the old woman's nose.
He's giving good direction.
I don't see the young woman. Where's the young woman?
Wait, you don't see the young woman?
No, I see the old.
You see the old woman. Okay, if you're seeing the old woman, look at that old woman's nose and envision that as like the edge of the jaw and the side of the face of the young woman. And you see sort of the side of her hair and the feather, sort of like an elegant looking woman with an elegant neck. That's the young woman. Her face is turned in the other direction. If she's the old woman, for those of you that couldn't see the old woman, you see more like her whole profile, more looking in our direction. You see one of her eyes, you see a big nose, you see the edge of her mouth, you see her chin jutting out. Shira, did you get to see the old woman yet?
No, it's making me crazy. I don't see it.
Do you see the young woman?
No.
What is wrong with me?
Okay, fine. All right, we'll start with Miriam. Miriam?
It's driving me crazy.
This is the young woman. Do you see my cursor?
Yes, I see your cursor.
You see what I'm going over? I'm going over the edge of her profile. That's the young woman.
Oh my gosh, I don't see it. There's something wrong with me.
Hey, Miriam, look at Miriam. The black part is like her hair. That little white piece sticking up is kind of like a piece of the head.
This is the feather from her headpiece. This is her headpiece. And this is her hair. This is her ear. Okay, vision, this is her ear. Yeah. And this is her jawline.
I'm sorry, I don't see it.
No problem. All right, Shira, did you find the old one?
No.
You got to just sometimes look away and then look. And what you're envisioning as the ear of the young woman is the eye of the old woman. What you're
Oh my gosh, I see it. I see it. Oh my gosh. Okay, Miriam, you have to find the young woman now. It's such a good feeling.
I just don't see it. Right,
Okay,
right
wait, I did the same thing.
Oh, that's
Miriam,
great.
the eye of the old woman is the ear of the young woman.
Wait, I don't see the young woman anymore. Shoot.
You gotta re-look. She's there.
She was so much prettier.
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
You see, Miriam, the eye of the old woman is the ear of the young woman. The jawline of the nose of the old woman is the jawline of the young woman.
I don't see it. Oh well.
The young woman's head is like turned away. So you really just see kind of like the side of her face, like a cheek maybe.
Okay, Heidi, you're so cool. You see both. That's really cool. I can't see the pretty lady anymore. Miriam, thanks a lot.
Can I just emphasize the way that some of us see both, some of us only see one and are struggling to see the other. It's like how we see actual people in real life, that some of us see all these different facets and some of us only see certain facets of the same person that someone else sees completely differently.
Thank you, Eliza. That's why we're doing this. Exactly.
It's always amazing.
It is. And there were so many. The funny thing is I wasn't going to do this one because I'm like, for sure you've all done this. This is like, all right, what do you see?
Two people looking at each other,
What do you see?
and a glass, and a candle holder.
The vase, the candle holder. And you could keep flickering back and forth and they're both there. Nowadays they've updated this. I saw it with like two people in an apple core. It was very cute. but this is the original version of the story.
Or a goblet. Yeah.
The goblet and the two
Yeah.
people. The goblet. Yeah, Miriam, you got it. No problem.